When a couple is expecting a baby, it's not uncommon for the father to start experiencing pregnancy symptoms too. The most noticeable one, packing on an average of 10% to his total body weight, a phenomenon known medically as Couvade syndrome. Culturally, we tend to write this off as a psychological quirk. We call it sympathy weight, assuming it's the result of stress over the impending arrival or matching a partner's late-night cravings. But if this were a psychosomatic response driven by human empathy, we wouldn't see the exact same physical changes happening in species that lack our capacity for complex psychological projection. Dismissing the dad bod as a lifestyle choice overlooks the specific biological shifts that prepare the male body for the energetic costs of fatherhood. To isolate the biological variables behind this weight gain, researchers at the University of Wisconsin-Madison set up a controlled study focusing on 2 primate species. The first animal model they looked at was the common marmoset. The second was the cotton-top tamarin. Both of these species share a strict social structure. The males are intensely involved, highly engaged, and strictly monogamous fathers. By observing these primates, scientists can strip away the messy variables of human anxiety and emotional eating, allowing them to look directly at the raw mechanics of fatherhood. The results from the Wisconsin study showed that expectant monkey fathers consistently bulked up, gaining 10% of their body weight over the course of their mates' pregnancies. Crucially, the researchers strictly managed the food supply for these animals. The males did not consume a single extra calorie that would account for the additional mass. This reveals a paternal energy buffer system. At the 50% pregnancy mark, male monkeys experience a massive biological trigger, an extreme surge in prolactin. This same hormone produces milk in females, but in males, it forces rapid fat storage. These primate fathers are solely responsible for carrying their newborn infants around on their backs, and since those babies are born weighing up to 20% of an adult's total mass, carrying them is exhausting work. The weight gain is an evolutionary fuel tank. Males are stockpiling energy to survive the immense physical demands of early infant care. To test if humans share this exact same neurochemical machinery, a Canadian research team ran a similar study on expectant human fathers. They tracked the men as their partners' pregnancies progressed and documented distinct hormonal shifts, a noticeable dip in testosterone paired with a sharp spike in cortisol and, once again, prolactin. The researchers then measured how these men reacted to infant cues. They handed fathers a doll, in a newborn's blanket, played infant cries, and tracked their hormones. The men who exhibited the largest spikes in prolactin and the steepest drops in testosterone were the ones who held the infant all the longest and showed the greatest overall responsiveness. Human fathers operate on the exact same hormonal mechanisms as our primate cousins. The shifting chemical balance in a father's blood is a biological prerequisite for paternal responsiveness. Another study, led by Dr. Ilana Gordon and colleagues, tracked human fathers over their first 6 months of parenthood to see how these hormones translate into actual behavior. The research identified 2 distinct paths of parenting behavior, with each path driven by a specific hormone circulating in the father's bloodstream. The first path is driven by oxytocin. This hormone regulates what scientists call affect synchrony, the behaviors related to social connection, like holding mutual gaze and initiating affectionate touch. This chart shows the measured concentrations of both oxytocin and prolactin in fathers at the 2nd and 6th months following birth. The data reveals that the second path is driven by prolactin. It specifically dictates coordinated exploratory play, how a father stimulates the child and helps them interact with objects and their environment. The specific cocktail of hormones pumping through a father's system acts as a direct programming language, dictating exactly how he will interact with and teach his child. The weight an expectant father carries is a physical marker of an underlying biological transition. A moment of wonder. This metabolic change represents an ancient neurochemical process that alters how the body manages its energy to prioritize the needs of a newborn. These shifts align the father's internal chemistry with the social and exploratory behaviors required to support his child's development.